Hi everybody, Salty Vixen here, and I want to talk about my boyfriend who has extreme dismissive avoidance attachment style. I have fearful attachment style, so I get it now why he is the way he is. I've had people tell me over the last year and a half of me dating this guy is, oh, dump him, there's something off with him. Here's the thing in the dating world, we judge so quickly, we swipe left and swipe right without getting to know somebody. First of all, I'm 45 years old. When you've been divorced or been in bad relationships, let's be honest, you're going to have a trauma built up. You're building this wall because you don't want to have this to happen to you. For me, I have a fear of intimacy. I tell people I freeze up. I always let people know, you don't know anyone like me. I'm different because I'm fearful, avoidant attachment. And I didn't really understand it till recently. And the guy I've been seeing, he, with him, whenever we get intimate, then he pulls away and he pulls this crap of, well, I shouldn't give in temptation. And I think the reason why he does that, and some other words he says, it's very similar to a guy I once dated, aka blast from the past. You're going, oh my God, why are you talking about high school? Oh my goodness gracious. Well, him and I dated several years ago in 2017, off and on for 2 years and 10 months. So yeah, this guy had a big impact on me. In fact, he was my first friend, and he's the only person I have truly loved in the deepest level that I never had felt with my now ex-husband. And with my boyfriend, I feel the same way. And it took me a long time to understand my ex blast from the past, he's not a narcissist, even though his narcissistic traits, he actually is dismissive avoidance style. And yes, I look at the chats occasionally because certain things my boyfriend says will trigger things that blast from the past will say. And before I used to freak out, before I understood what is going on. And I run the website saltyvixenstories.com. It's back to being digital magazine. And I'm actually writing an article about extreme dismissive avoidant attachment style and talking about dating a person like that. And I got to thinking about blast from the past. And I was remembering something that happened a long time ago. I must have been, oh goodness gracious, a freshman in high school. And this situation happened because him and I, we went way back. I was 6, he was an 8th. He was my first friend. He showed me locker combo. He taught me how to play drums. He was a cool guy, very, very nice, and the sweetest guy in the world. But he also would shut people out. And I remember he'd go on his drum pad when he had anxiety attacks or he was frustrated. And people say, don't talk to him. I'm going to talk to him. And I did. I was one of the people that understood him and could get through him. That's why my love for him was so deep, because my own friends gave up on me. And yet he was there for me. And so I remember this thing we did where the middle school people came, or the school came, and my job was I think it was on a Saturday. I had to take the middle school group from the coat room, which was chemistry room, and to the band room to warm up. And I'd do my job, then I'll sit in the lobby at this big table where he and other percussionists were sitting at. And I remember he had this philosophy type of book. It was very deep, and he let me read it. And then he was teaching me some card games. And then he went out to lunch with another clarinet player, senior, and asked me to watch his walkie-talkie and his backpack and his stuff, and I could read his book. It's still one of my favorite books till this day. And while he was gone, this other girl who was liking him a heck of a lot, she didn't like me. We all played clarinets, and she had this high-pitched voice, so I'm going to do a horrible imitation, but this is how I remember. She gets on the walkie-talkie, knowing that people are at lunch, and she says, oh my God, he hates her. He despises her. Why does she bother talking to him? She's a dork. And she would say all this mean stuff. Well, me, I took things to a deep level, very personally. And because his brother and I had beef the previous year, that thing was hard for me to get over because I never been screamed at like that before. And I remember I went to one of the classrooms, the chemistry room, the coat room, and I was crying. He comes back from lunch, and I'm hearing the walkie-talkie, the band teacher saying, where's Rachel? So my blast from past crush gets on the walkie-talkie. I know where she is. I'll go get her. And I'm freaking out because, he's got a wrath. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to yell at me. He's going to lecture me for not getting back to my post. And I'm trying to wipe my tears away, but the crying's too far gone because I don't know why I'm hated by people. That was my perception before I realized I'm fearful, avoidant. Anyway, he came in and he saw me. I was wiping my tears because he hates crying. And he grabbed me, held on to me, and hugged me. And he wiped my tears away. I never forget that. And he said, don't listen to what they're saying. He overheard it, I guess, from another walkie-talkie, I guess, as he came back in from lunch. Or maybe he was in the car. That's probably what it was. I don't know. He heard it. He says, they are not nice. Don't listen to them. You're an amazing woman. That's what he said to me. I said, yeah, but they said you hate me. He says, I don't hate you. I don't hate anyone. And I said, what about them? He says, well, I'm nice to people, but I don't have to like them. I said, wait, you don't like me? He says, no, I do like you. But he was referring to that person. He says, oh, she's not nice at all. And honestly, just walk away. Well, that was the nicest thing. My own friends never stood up for me, and here he is. I mean, I remember when he was percussion overlord, he stood up for me when everyone else was making fun of me. I remember they had an extra practice because the bass drums ran into me, and I could hear him yelling my name. I lived near the high school, and I remember him saying, it's not Rachel's fault or anyone else's fault. It's our fault. We're going to fix this right now. And they did. And because it was the timing, it was messed up. I played clarinet my sophomore year when that happened. He taught me how to march. I mean, he was always, like I said, I was always grateful for the kindness he showed me. But I understood him in a way that no one else did. Now you're like, what does this have to do with anything? Well, because my boyfriend is the same way. He is extreme dismissive avoidant. And before I understood this, I was melting down. I felt like a shell of myself. And then once I did what I always do, I overthink and analyze, I understand. And like right now, he's on vacation in Mexico, and the communication hasn't been there. I've been frustrated. So I went to AI, that's my therapist, and kind of discussed like, how should I text him, how it's bothering me. And I'm like, wait, why don't I be mature about think like an extreme dismissive avoidance person and say, hey, you know what? Have fun on your trip. Talk to me and get back, because I won't put pressure on you. That's one thing. They don't like the fear of pressure. For someone like me who is fearful, when it comes to fearful avoidance, for me, I need communication. I need to feel them not abandoned. I need to feel that I'm wanted. And, when he is in the zone with me, he will be there for me 100,000%. It's him letting his guard down, because I'm sure he was rejected, especially, hello, he's divorced. I was rejected. Even the last one passed, the way he was rejected. I recall people talking about how a relationship had ended, I think, when I started my freshman year. And I remember thinking, well, I would never reject him because he's a good guy. And I still think, I've forgiven him after all this, by the way. I still have love for him. I still respect him. And I've had people ask me, but yeah, you're Salty Vixen. Right. I was angry at the time at him for what the situation was, because, I was used for intimacy. That did affect me. I think it affects anyone because it wasn't right because of his situation. But the whole thing with Salty Vixen came from a place of love. I took all the negativity and I remembered all the good things he was to me over the years. I'm not talking about like just what he did. I'm talking about my ex-husband, the abuse I went through. Actually, what helped me become a stronger person was remembering his advice. No one else gave it to me. No one else was there for me. And I remember even when I was sexually assaulted in England, he was always in the back of my head to remind myself to be a strong woman. He's like that, the conscious. So the Salty Vixen thing was never made in negativity. It was made in the fact that I love the man, but I love how he was kind to me and how he was good to me when no one else was. So it's more like paying honor for him, but it's not really him. It's my thing, and it's growing. The brand is, and I'm proud of that. So I want you all to know it never came from negativity. At the time, I was very angry, but it also came from a place of love, because I don't like saying angry. I don't like to argue. Especially you're a fearful person like I am, fearful avoidance, like I am. I don't like the confrontation. I will not do well with that. I cry more than anything. So it's growing for me, and growth for me mentally as well, and maturing. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a bit about that. Never judge a book by its cover, even though we all do today in this dating world. And yeah, my boyfriend and I have been going together for a year and 6 months. Yes, I'm frustrated with him in many ways, obviously, but he's been there for me. He hasn't abandoned me. And for me to grow as a person so we can work together, I have to understand how he thinks, but he has to also understand how I think. And I personally think, just like Blast from the Past, that's why we got each other. No other woman has understood him the way I do. Same with Blast from the Past. That's why the relationship lasted as long as it did, because we understood each other. And I still do. Anyways, have a lovely day. Bye.